So again guys, this is going to be our install a video today for an FJ Cruiser. So normally your years are about 2010 to 2016 or so. If your dash looks like this, it's going to be the same anyway. You've got these trims down the side, your radios in the middle, so buttons here, aircon vents up the front. These don't have too much like going on. We've got like steering wheel controls, which is cool. The actual radio, majority of them is pretty basic. You don't have too much going on there. Before you do this, you can eject your CD if you still use those. Obviously, we do have a reverse camera, which actually comes up on here. So we'll take the factory reverse camera and we'll put it into here. So we'll show you how to do that on this our video. Our units, the steering wheel controls are still going to work, and that's about it. We will include in our kit, if we don't have it, we will include a dual sort of USB thing in here to tidy this up, and they don't have any factory USBs by the look. So that's basically it. We're going to put this unit in today and we'll explain to you how you do it. Right, so you can also see on here that this trim is actually like white. It doesn't really sort of matter because this is like silver and the actual sort of side trims over there are like silver too. So our fascia is silver. If you do really want to sort of keep it the same, our fascias are just smooth like plastic, so you can give them a light like sanding and just like paint them with a plastic paint you can get from common paint store to match this like same one as you want. But we don't have all the different colors because obviously there's some blue ones, white ones, there's a few different like colors. Ours is silver. So if you want to like change it, you can, but you have to paint it yourself. Now under here you can see when I'm unscrewing, there is two Phillips screws. I shouldn't take off both of these, one, and there's one over this other side, so directly under this silver piece here, and they come out very easily. This is a good install to do. These are fairly straightforward installs. Now if you grab the bullets from the bottom here and give us a pull, and then kind of pull up the side with your like fingers, and you'll just feel this thing unclip. So start from like the sort of bottom and I'll work your way to the top. That comes off fairly straightforward like that. Again, it is like it is plastic, so just be gentle on it. Start from the bottom, a few gentle tugs, and it will like pop out just like so. Now you'll see on each side here, one, two more of these. These come unscrewed, and they are the same size as the bottom ones, so you don't have to worry too much about getting them muddled up. They'll come out like that. Now this whole sort of panel here, if you give it a few little tugs on the sides, it's going to come off fairly easily. There is a clip in the middle at the top here, and you got all these plugs on the back here that just need to like come out. So you push on the top tab and you pull them out like so. We'll push on these top tabs and we should be able to pull these out fairly easily. That's all of that undone. You can see you are left with all of what we have there. Now on the radio here, this is going to come out. You just got 1, 2, 3, 4. These are like a normally 10 mils. Undo them. It's all fairly straightforward, and then the whole of radio will actually pull out. Easy as that. Now this just pulls out now, and in the back again, exact same as what you had in your AC controls. It's just some plugs we've got to push down at the top to pull out. If you find any of these hard to get out, just like push them all the way back in and then push down hard and try and bring them out. That's a good little tip. It's the back of the old radio there. You can see these are the plugs that came out of it. There was one plug that actually wasn't hooked in, which was this one here. That just tells us in some other models they had something different going on, which I think this might have been the USB and auxiliaries that this model doesn't have. So that is basically it all taken out. Fairly straightforward. Now we're going to show you what's in the kit, and then we'll go and put it all back in. I'll just take you through everything you get in the kit. It does look like a lot at the start, but I'll explain it one by one. So here's our unit. This is like an M series unit. Our main 20-pin plug, auxiliary plugs, GPS, a 4G antenna, FM, AM antenna. So obviously the unit comes up built in with a fascia, so there we are there. So that is like our main unit. Then we'll go and cover like our sort of wires here. We've got our auxiliary in. Now the majority of people aren't going to be using this, but it does give you like a third actual camera input if you've wanted to use a third camera. It's our reverse camera in. We are going to be like using like this, and you can also run like a second cam into that input. Main 2 USBs that just like plug into our auxiliary one here, external mic, a 4G antenna. That's if you want to put a SIM card on the unit, have data the whole time. This is the SIM card tray. Our third USB port. It's handy if you're running our dash cams or DAB or tyre pressure system. You can plug into there. It's a Bluetooth antenna. This has to go on. I don't mean to put this in like now. Now if you are using like pre-outs for like an amplifier system, you'll be like using this, and that actually is this on the same plug. If you're just using the factory speakers with no sort of pre-outs, you can just like leave this one in the box. GPS antenna, factory USB retention if your car has a factory USB port. I do include a 1080p reverse camera in the kit, so you can install this if you want, or you can retain the factory one. It is up to you. We will show you how to retain like the factory one. This is our easy adapter, plug and play kit, OBD2 scan tool, hydration assistant. Now we do have some T-clips in here. These are to keep the current camera working. Now we will add a couple extra parts in future kits, and I'll show those to you. I don't have them in this kit. That allow us to keep the camera working. This is for this is called like SPL connectors for the reverse camera. Dual USB like rocker switch that plugs into the blanks there. Instruction manual. Trim removal tools. Now that's everything you get in the kit. Some kits in the future now I will be including an external mic. We'll explain that you can test it with and without. I like to see what one works better, and we will also add some extra wires in for the factory camera. Right, so in the passenger kick panel here, you can pop this trim off. I just got the trim tool in here, just wedge it in the start, then get your hands in and just like pull it out. It'll come out pretty easy. So if you have clips in it, then at the back here you have a screw, unscrew that, and then this whole thing here will sort of shimmy wiggle off like that, and that comes off, and then we're into here. Now we've got to get into here. I want to retain the factory reverse camera. Now for some people you might be like, I'm just going to run the new camera, I don't care. If you're doing that, then you don't have to worry about this part if you're going to run our camera. If you do want to retain the current camera, then you will have to do this part. So we're looking at this plug here. If yours doesn't look exactly the same as this, get in touch with us, because we'll probably be able to help you out anyway about which plug to use. Again, just push it all the way in, then I just want to get a trim tool on here, pull that tab down nice and push that tab down nice and hard, and we should be good. There we go, got a bit more length on it. That's the plug we're after, and we're basically looking for a couple of wires. Now this one on the bottom here, close with the camera, this one here, red and like yellow, you're gonna need to get a pair of like scissors in here and just take a bit of this tape off so you can actually see what's going on. Otherwise it'll be pretty much impossible for you to tell what's going on in there. And just chop that out of the way. Don't chop any wires obviously. Okay, so now we can actually see it a bit better. Now this red with a yellow strip, red with a yellow strip here and some grey things on it, that's actually our trigger wire, so that's going to put 12 volt when the car's on in reverse. If you really wanted to test this, you could use like a voltmeter or just like a test light, put the car in reverse and check if you're getting 12 volt on that one. Then so that I call that like the bottom side, so the flat part, and then the top side, the rib part. This has our positive and negative video feed on it, and then we've got our video positive and negative, which is a red with grey side dashes, which is so that one there, so 1, 2 in, and a white with grey dashes, which is 1, 2, 3 in. What you normally do here is just sort of split into this wire, so you can actually kind of see what you're dealing with, and you can hook up to the right wires. Split them apart a little bit. That'll just help you make sure you get into the right one. So you can see that one was one that I wanted, and then the white with the grey stripes, which is this one here. So we're just going to tap into those, and it's going to give us our video feed. And the trigger, remember, was on the back, this one here, yellow with grey stripes, which if I count it from this side again, 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th one in. So that's what we do like to do installs, because even as I'm doing this, I'm thinking, well, we might see if we can actually even make a adapter cable up for this, so it'll be an extension cable that'll pop off to an RCA and trigger wire. We haven't got it yet, but hopefully in the future we will. If you have our current kit, you're only going to have these in it. We will need it. We should have included these other wires, so I will actually put these other wires in the kit now. This wire here is just giving me free wires. So I've got my video feed here, my yellow and black, and my purple is going to be my trigger. So if I follow these all the way down to the other end, the purple one just goes to that, which is fine, and this one goes to like an RCA plug, which is exactly what we need. So that's what we'll have in the kit for now. So you want to get these little T connectors here, and they just slide them in, and when they slide in, they're just Scotch connectors, so you slide them in and then grab your pair of pliers and just push them down like so, and we should hopefully have a good connection. Now this will be the one thing to check. If something wasn't working, you'd pull these apart and check that they were actually getting a good connection. These ones should be fine for these size like wires, but again, always pays to double check. Right, those two done. So if you remember what I was talking about on the back here, basically we need our red one can go to our yellow wire on here. So when you put these in, do one a bit further back and like one a bit closer, so you have enough room. So that's all that taps in like that, and that's why we like use them, because just a fairly handy, easy way to tap into wires. So that one, and then the grey one, sorry, white with grey stripes, again same thing. Make sure it's sitting about right in the middle there, and just come through and tap into them. That was basically those two, and we've got our purple one, which if you remember is going to go to our red and yellow one on the other side here. So grab the like an extra tap we give you in the kit. What we'll do as soon as we've done this is we actually test it to see if it is working. Because you don't want to go too much further if it's not working. We need to work out why, and guarantee it'll be that one of these taps hasn't gone all the way through or something. But again, you're talking about positive video, which is a negative video, which is a low feed, and this is a shielded sort of cable, and our reverse trigger, which is sort of low ampage as well, which is why we can use all this stuff. Now up here at the other end, we've got our reverse in on our main harness here. This is what we're going to use. Just to test, what I do is I actually just strip them and I do them together, and then we connect them up correctly like later on. I just do it like this because the best thing about stripping and connecting is I know 100% you can physically see that these are connected fine. Now our best practice, put a bit of tape around that so that doesn't touch anything, because there is going to be 12 volt go into that. And we just want to plug this in. I'll show you what we're going to do. I'm going to see if that reverse camera is going to come into the head unit now. We grab the head unit, put in like this cable, and we want to be using this purple cam in one, but it plugs into there. Now find the one that you ran from down here, which would be here. This will plug into here. That's our video feed, and then we've already hooked up our trigger like we did before. Now plug the head unit in. What we want to do is we want to power this up, put it in reverse, see if anything happens. Now the troubleshooting here would be I'll show the troubleshooting, but obviously the first troubleshooting would be like, okay, it doesn't trigger when I put it into reverse. That's going to be the trigger wire, which is going to the orange and black one. The other one would be, it triggers, but I get another image. That's going to be the video wires. And then obviously when you do sort of run them properly, you want to go up behind the radio. But we'll just throw this thing in reverse. Clearly you got to plug that plug back in, so don't forget. Alright, the plug's back in now. Yeah, don't forget to do that, otherwise not much will be happening. Put the car in reverse, you can see, cool, the trigger happened, and I'm getting a blank screen. I'm not getting no image, so when it sort of click and touch on our screen, click that sort of settings icon, 4 zeros, press OK. Now up here we've got some formats, CVBS, NTSC. You probably want that's normally Toyota factory one. Click the save button, and hopefully what happens is we'll now have, there we go, a video feed coming in. This car's got a bag on the spare tyre, hence you can't see it. Again, that could be one reason you want to use our camera. You can just run the cables and you can put it wherever you want. But that is like you can see that image is the same as that image. So we have it on both screens. Fairly easy, all done. Next part's our fascia swap. Here's our fascia. So two things need to come over. One's our clips, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can just put like a flat head in one side of these and sort of flip them off. Just put your hand over as you flip them off, because they can fly off. And then obviously we got the AC and stuff. Now you see all around this, it's got little clips. You need to pop off these clips. The best trick for that is you kind of put some pressure on the front as you sort of pop the clips off, and you'll see if you just go around, they'll all come off. Small little flat head will help you with that. Pop those off. So a bit of pressure on the front. I don't really want to pull that whole bit apart, but it did come apart, that's fine. So it's obviously hooked to this other part here, so just keep them all together. And then again, you've got a few clips around here. Put a bit of pressure on the front. All right, so I'll pop the other main bit out there. you probably we'll end up like cracking these in like the middle. It's not in the world because we're putting our unit in, so we're not going to use them again. But if you did want to like put this back, it'll still go in fine, but you could just like glue those if you wouldn't ever put it back to our factory again. So you've got the clips down the bottom, 1, 2, 3. And then you've also got the like clips in the like side here that sit under here. So you can just get a flathead in there and like pop those off. And you've got one like Phillips screw you have to undo. So undo this Phillips screw here, and then again put like pressure in from the front, and just go and pop all these off. Now you find like these ones in the end are that so the main ones, like pop them off with a bit like pressure, and then you can sort of pop off everything on sort of one side and work your way through to the other side. And then again, last one to come off is this one on the other side here, and then we can transfer the whole lot across. All right here, so you just kind of grab the old one, you bring the whole thing across and sort of transfer it over like so. Hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing here. Transferred the whole one across like that, left on that old like fascia now. And then each one should just fit in nicely, as it kind of did on the original one. Line them up. Here's all the clips that go all around them from each side, so just make sure you have the clips in the right spots, and what you will find is it should all clip back down and in fairly easily. And if it doesn't, check you've got it all lined up, because it's not lined up if it's not going in nicely. Now it's actually like easier to actually pop off that like cover, and then push it down, and then actually fit the cover last. That seems to work a bit easier. You can see this will pop in nice and easy without that cover, and then it's just lining this cover up to go down over it. Line up. Now the bottom piece here will be the same. That one normally clicks in pretty easy. You can probably hear that go click, click, click. That's our bottom piece. And then on this far side, do the exact same thing again. You can take the black case off just to make it easier for you to pop these down. These will pop in. Fiddly with one hand here. Now we will adjust this on our future ones, but our tab here I just had to trim out to make the hole a bit bigger, so I just trimmed out a bit more so the hole was higher on the top. And our future fascias will try to adjust that. But if you have to trim, we always just trim our fascia, because then the factory's all fine, but I've just trimmed out the top to be a bit higher, so then so both sides of that clip in nicely. And then obviously our top piece comes on, and then we've got our top bits on, and we're just going to transfer over our clips. Our clips are on here. If you do have issues putting these on, just swap them, the black covers. So the black cover that was on here, I put on this side, and that one on the other side. Just seems to help them. So the clips here, you can see. You also notice always put the unit down on a towel, or you can just use the foam from the box. But the clips come off just like that. I just put a Phillips head under one side. You can grab it with your hand and just pop it over. They are flexible, so they shouldn't snap. Sometimes if they're a real bad version, the plastic's unstable, they can snap, but normally they shouldn't. And then the one on the top here, obviously, and then that's our unit all ready to go in with all our stuff and clips on it. Right, so now I just like to come in and do all the cables we have to put in. 4G antenna, again, all this stuff here just needs a clear view of the sky with no steel above it. These dashes are plastic, but that's all right. So we do pull enough through. We've got a stick pad here, and we want to go and mount this up under the dash, somewhere it'll stick onto. Now this is just if you want to put a SIM in your unit, which will give it internet the whole time. This is our antenna to pick up our 4G, 3G sort of coverage. And we go and find somewhere good to stick this that's flat, and it'll sit nicely. Again, you probably want to go past, you've got these computers up top here, so you probably want to get it a bit past all your trip computer and whatnot, because that'll probably block it a bit. Like on this model here, they've got these chip computers on top, they might all have them, so you probably don't want it directly under that, so you kind of want to get it past there, somewhere over here. Now the same is going to be said for the GPS, where you can get it to, so you know it's definitely not going to have any steel stuff above it. Again, just put your hand up under here, you'll find I can feel a good spot just up under here, which would put it pretty much under there. So we'll put that one in. That's the exact same again, sticker on the back, 3M sort of stick pad, peel that off like so, and go fishing under the back here. Just a little bit tight to get your hand in there. Alright, so GPS, 4G and SIM card. Now this, basically best spot to do it is run it through behind the glove box here. So if you sort of if you're pushing either side of here, you can pop like the glove box down a bit further and you can see behind it and all the stuff that falls out obviously. But what we basically want to do is we want to put this SIM card slot in the glove box, and so even if you don't use it, at least in the future if you might want to use it, you've got fairly easy access to it. Which way is easy? Again, if they're a bit hard to get across, just take these to a screwdriver or something, but normally you can just do it with your hand. Right, that's there. I'm taking everything across behind to this top bit, because that's where the radio will be going. Third USB, again, a lot of people might not be using this. Handy for a dash cam, TPMS, etc. Put it into the glove box, again, so it's easier to get to in the future if you do decide to use it or not use it, you can get to it. So I was a bit unsure if you caught that there. This was just our dual USB and microphone one. Again, you can just test it before you put the hedging back in, I guess sort of run it with and without. See what you're happy with. And you can see through our glove box here, we've run all these. So that's basically almost everything. I have an external mic here. So if you are going to run it, you probably end up sort of, you put it here, you so tuck it under, and you can either run it up into here, which on these cars is quite far away, so you might almost be better if you are going to use it. You might even be able to run it out from this trim or behind this top of the steering wheel here. I guess all you're trying to do is kind of get it close to your mouth without it having other things in the way. So on this car, I reckon we're going to be just sort of using the internal one, because the internal one's on the unit here, which is closer than if we put it up here or even along here. But again, you can do a test yourself and see. Now the one extra bit we include in our kits here is we include our dual rocker panel thing here. So what this gives you is this here, 2 USB ports. Audio goes through to our unit. Quick charge is a quick charge which powers off your cigarette port, hopefully piggybacks off that. So to get to that, it's normally easiest to just seeing if we have to pop the whole panel off or not. Okay, it's the old style plug anyway. Now some of you will be able to use this one as a piggyback, and some won't. I see this one here is the old style spade connectors, so that means we can't. So I'll show you what we'll do. We're going to actually so take this off our hedge unit, let's ACC and power. So we're going to come in here and we're going to do this. So first we're going to find a blank to use, which has a blank right there. So if you push it from the back here, you should be able to pop that out fairly easy. Oh, that's a blank, that's not a blank. Interesting. I'm just going to unplug this because the blank, yeah, secret plug. No idea what that is for. Let me have a look, see if it actually is just the end plug or something. Yeah, so that, I don't know what that's for. That's been there. They're plugged into there. I'm gonna put it into sort of that spot there because it's the easiest. And this here can just sit behind here. That's fine. It would be, I would say, for something that's on some models and not all, fairly common for them to do things like that. So grab this one, which is our USB one, put it through, grab it, leave it hanging out here so you can get to it. This is actually going to plug into one of our USBs, and it just like tidies up, and it gives us easy access to a port. So that one plugs into here. With these, just make sure you give them a good push in, because they actually almost sit like in the plug, so they're like actually fairly hard to get to. And then we'll run the other one, which we're going to have to chop and use some T connectors to power off. But again, put it back through here like so. There we go. Again, we'll leave that end up the top. This end will plug into here like so. Again, just give it a good push. Alright, test this all powers up normally before you put it back in. I'm pretty sure we're going to be fine, so I won't, but I suggest you do that. Always check things. Now that's sort of what happens. Now that gives us a quick charge port and like an audio port coming through. Now these here on this model, what we've got to do is we have to connect this to ACC power and a ground. So I'll show you what I'm going to do. Actually I'm going to use a SPL connector that came in the kit that I haven't used, because we're using the factory camera, and that's going to give us an easy way to put power to this. So snip this plug off. Now again, like some of you have a look at the back of your cigarette plug, because like some of you could have like this connector. This car didn't, which is fine, but sometimes they will, and then you can actually use them. Now we've got our SPL connector that comes in the kit. You know, these are just cool ways to easily hook wires up. So blue I'm going to use as sort of a negative, and orange I'll use as a positive. So obviously strip a wire and then tuck it in, and then put the clips down. Now all that happens in here is they are sort of sandwiching the wires between two metal plates. It gives you a good connection. Good thing to use on low ampage connections, because you actually get to strip strip the wire, so you know it's definitely connected. Now on our unit here, we have what I'm going to do is we're not using this auxiliary plug, and I can see here's our earth. It's coming back and it's branching off onto these other earths. So I'm going to use this is my earth, because it's hooked to the main one anyway, and we're not going to be using this plug. So the fact that we're not using this plug, I would actually just go snip. This plug's not being used. It saves us having to have it all wound up. We will tape those up, so that's fine. And then we do need our red, so we do need our positive here. So we grab our red ACC, snip that in half, strip both ends, strip this one, grab our SPL connector. Obviously remember your colors for your polarity, tuck that into there like so, clip that. Here I can just do this, all blues are connected and obviously all oranges are connected, and tuck this in like so. Now that's everything hooked up. That's how you can use those fairly easy. And we can even just put the keys in the car, and you should get some lights come on this device here. And if you don't, you have an issue. Now I can see it's not lighting up. That means we have an issue. So again, I'd go in, I would probably be checking my earth was good. Can't really go too wrong with these ones, but we've got to check our power source, and we want to make sure this lights up. Now that's all sorted. It was actually the plugs at the back, so I had to pop it out. So that's why I say normally leave it out before you power it out. The plug at the back will just come loose. Now you'll see if I power off the car, that goes off and back on. So that's cool. You can also use this here if you have any other low ampage things you need to have an ACC power source for. Righto, so pretty much that's done. Now the only other wires we have to run behind, remember, was our ones from the camera. So we obviously want to take those behind the glove box and put them out of the way here. And then basically what I do is I tape things up a bit, tidy them up, and then we'll put the head unit back in. So we're looking pretty good now. You can tape things up as much or little as you want. I normally just say check everything's working before you get too happy on the tape, because otherwise you could untape it. It's a bit of a pain. Now I also chopped off this plug here, because we didn't so need the adapter on this model because it's going straight in. Again, just remember this blue plug will be live, so just tape it up. We've ran through our wire, our purple wire, that was our trigger, to our cameras in here. We've got our RCA wire coming through, put our antennas on here. These ones are all going to the glove box. One of these dual USBs we actually plugged into, see that one there, we actually plugged that into the USB that was coming out of here. So that gives us a panel USB there, which all looks quite nice. So now what you do is you grab the unit and you hope everything's still sort of going to work well. So that's our back of our unit here. So normally if you start from one side and work your way across, saves you forgetting anything. So we got our camera on here, remember that's the purple cam in. Now we tapped it off the factory car, so you can do that as well, or you can do it off whatever you want. And then we come across and we've got all these ones that are basically all running to our glove box. These can only plug in where they go into, so, well, they could go into a small one, could go into like a big hole, but the pins should match, so that's fairly self-explanatory, I hope. Going through, so that's everything. Then we look around, okay, we've got our 4G antenna, yes, let's plug that in. We can stick that one, our blue one, up the top here. Got our GPS, yes please, plug that one in. See, that's a bit like that. Now FMAM, that's going to plug in. Now just have a double check you haven't missed any, and just look, because you kind of want the wires when they go in to kind of go in and then drop down. And then we've obviously got all our AC stuff. So what I will do is we'll get this unit a bit closer, and then we'll plug in all our AC and other etc buttons we had. There's 3 plugs that were in the bottom there. There's a big one and 2 more that go into your climate control. So just make sure you get them all. Right, now what I do is I just actually hold the unit up, because we want to put the key in and check all our stuff again before we get too carried away. So it's coming on, our aircon's coming on, our AC light etc is working.
Breakouts listening to Overcomer.
Cool, we got sound coming in. I'd probably just scan again, make sure we are getting good. That's all working fine. So we've got steering wheel controls, we've got sound, our AC's working. Let's put the car in reverse, our reverse camera trigger and image is working. So we are good. So now basically you want to make sure those wires that need to tuck in the top tuck in. These ones that go in the bottom tuck in. And there's heaps of room behind these ones, so shouldn't really be a big issue pushing them in. You get those clips, so the clips line up where they should be in their little homes. Let's double check, so it does feel a bit tough. Just want to make sure. Okay, it's the big wires there, just causing me a few issues. Alright, you line up that top clip, because that clips into there, and we make sure our bottom ones are lined up, and then you should be able to go through, give the unit a good push, and that's it all sitting in there. Good job. Now we'll go through and we'll do these sides, so that's pretty straightforward. We've got two Phillips screws on either side here. You put your trims on and your 2 side bits. So there we have the unit like all in. So obviously the 2 screws went onto there, and then our trim pieces went in, and then our screws down the bottom. So that is looking pretty awesome. I'd finish it off, I just tape up these, put them in the glove box, and I also tape those wires from the kick panel just behind there, so they're all in a good spot. You can see it looks pretty awesome here. Got our quick charge port in the bottom there, and everything is looking great. The install's pretty easy. It takes a little bit of time just because you have to swap over the AC and you got to tap into reverse camera, but skill wise fairly straightforward. So it's an awesome upgrade there for the FJ Cruisers. So there we have it. That's is looking pretty awesome. So obviously we've got we'll come in here and we'll pair up our phone to it. We have wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. So on an iPhone you just have to turn the Bluetooth on and off, normally to get it to show up for some reason. There it is there. So it just uses Bluetooth to connect, and then it actually uses the hotspot to actually run the CarPlay. So that's why it'll only ever show it's connected once. There's a few things that so pop up on my phone at the moment telling me to do some things. This is the CarPlay or Android Auto app. It's going to give me a pop-up on my phone. Use this. So normally when you start your car up, that's going to sort of pop up pretty quick. Now that's sort of what I would suggest doing if you did want to come in here and test that microphone quality or whatnot. So obviously that's our CarPlay Android Auto. You can hook the internet to it. You can install whatever apps you want. You have access to the Play Store there. This is basically like an Android tablet. That means you can do cool stuff with it. If you have multiple cameras coming in, these cars would be a good example where a front camera would probably be a lot of help. You can add a front camera in. We've got obviously, like I said, like navigation, like maps on here. The unit has its own GPS. That's all pretty standard. Radio works how it should. Steering wheel controls, and we have that reverse camera coming in here and up here now. So all in all, pretty straightforward install, and it is definitely gives you an awesome upgrade to this car.